everybody, welcome back to Nano Art House. It's me, Shanae. On today's episode, we are going to have a ton of fun, and I am going to show you guys how you can make your own 1/6 scale dollhouse. A lot of people have asked where I purchased my dollhouse from, and honestly, the website is not like a US website, so it won't even, do me any good to tell you guys, but I can definitely show you guys how to make your own, and it'll actually come out cheaper because you won't have to deal with the hassle of like shipping and even trying to get it over here, and just like the actual cost. If I had to go back and do it all over again, I would probably just make one myself, because just looking at the actual house, it's really easy to make, and I'm super excited to share that with you guys. So let's get into the basics of what we're actually looking at and just the base of the house, right? Like the foundation. So pretty much this dollhouse has removable walls, right? So it's not like a traditional 1/12 scale dollhouse where it's just one large house with different floors and everything is all connected. With this house, you basically have two different walls that are connected by a piece of wood there in the middle. You want to find a material that is not only durable but also lightweight. You want something that will give you enough leeway as far as cutting the piece down, installing like the connector material, so on and so forth. So I think a great material, if you're just getting started out, would be MDF board or just regular like plywood. Now you can purchase these materials at like your local hobby store, or you can go to like Home Depot or Lowe's. They actually have pieces of plywood, like project materials that are super cheap. Like it'll cost you like maybe $20 or so. So definitely check out like your local hobby stores as well. Sometimes they have sales, and you'll be able to find the pieces that you need. This board right here is pretty much just made out of plywood. So you want to make sure that you find something that is at least 1 inch thick. And the reason that you want it to be 1 inch thick is because we are going to add magnets on the edge, so that way when you go to connect your walls, pretty much there's enough, it's thick enough so that way it won't fall over. Now, as far as the actual size of the board you'll need, that's totally up to you. You definitely want to make sure that the items are tall enough, because if it's going to be 1/6 scale, it needs to be at least a few inches taller than 12 inches, because the standard doll that is 1/6 scale is usually right around 11 to 12 inches. So just kind of keep that in mind. These boards in particular are 23.5 inches long, and then they are 17.5 inches tall. Okay, so if you want yours to look exactly like mine, just keep those measurements in mind. All right, so the next step is pretty much finding material that you can use to connect your different walls. So with this particular board, as you can see, magnets were used and pretty much installed on the side of each board, so that way whenever I wanted to connect two walls, basically I can just put them together. So you definitely want to make sure that you use the correct side of the magnet, so that way you have, the pretty much like the opposite side connecting to the opposite side of the other board. So for example, you might want to mark which side of the magnet, like write it somewhere along the side, so that way you definitely want to make sure that you cut out, like a small circle, so that way you can kind of place your magnets on the inside of the board, so that way it's just flush with the board. You guys probably can't see, but these magnets, like there's no part of the magnet that's protruding out, so that way when I go to connect the boards, it's pretty much just smooth all the way. One thing I will suggest is make sure you leave yourself a note which side of the magnet is which. So before you glue these down, maybe test it out with like another board, like connecting two boards, just to make sure, they actually will hold in place, if that makes sense. Now that you guys have a base understanding of what the boards are made of and pretty much how you can connect the boards, we can move on to the fun stuff. As you guys can see, I pretty much put up one of my own walls that I made, and this again is just made out of MDF board. It's pretty much the same size as the other walls that I have, but I wanted to customize some of my scenes a little more, so I just used MDF board and I pretty much cut out a space to put windows and doors. So that's what you guys are going to want to do. Once you figure out what size your walls are going to be, then you want to cut out a space for windows as well as doors. If you have the time and you have the patience, feel free. I just feel like buying them from like a shop or like online is actually a lot cheaper than buying all of the supplies and then trying to navigate how to build and make them look the way that I look. So if you guys look at the bottom of the screen, you guys will actually see the Etsy vendor that I use to purchase these doors and windows. I've used this vendor several times before. As you guys can see, I have, just like your standard single door. I have some of the double doors here. And then I also have some window panels in the back. So this vendor, makes quality work, and it's really not expensive at all. I think this door right here was probably like $25. So, if you kind of, look at the opportunity cost of actually just going ahead and buying it versus trying to make it yourself, I think it will save you a lot of time, headache, and energy. All right, so as you can see from my cutout, that door fits perfectly inside of the diorama. Again, you definitely want to purchase like a base material for the walls that's thick enough, so that way as you are moving the walls around, adding, taking away walls, you have something that's durable and that, will last. Just from a, 1/6 scale perspective, I'm going to add a a few pieces just so that way you guys can actually see what it looks like as far as 1/6 scale. So, you know, I'm super happy with how that looks. And again, this is, you know, making your own is so much fun because you have the ability to paint the walls. You have the ability to customize and make it your own. Moving on to the windows. So pretty much the windows or the install and the cutout of the windows is similar to the doors. The only thing is you'll basically cut out a hole the size of the window inside of the board versus the door where you are only making 3 cuts and you're leaving the bottom cut open, so that way when you open the door it opens. So let me show you guys. Okay, so we only made 3 cuts, so 2 going vertical and 1 horizontal cut. With the windows, you are basically going to make 4 cuts inside of the board. Again, I purchased my windows. These are functional windows. The vendor that I use, he's tagged at the bottom of the screen here. You just go to Etsy. He actually provides like the acrylic pieces that go with the window, so they look like actual windows. Pretty much you'll just glue the acrylic pieces on the inside of the window, and then you just basically place the window inside of the area that you cut. Let's move on to the floors. So the floors are super customizable. Pretty much you can take the easy way and just go to like your local craft store and just buy a piece of nice wood and lay it down, and it literally looks like hardwood floors. I actually picked up this piece from Joann's. So, in this scenario, you would actually need, like maybe 2 to 3 different pieces just to fit the full area of this diorama. And you can't tell me that doesn't look amazing and looks like real floors. If you are, looking for something a little more detailed, you can actually go to Amazon and just type in, like Dollhouse flooring, and you'll usually be able to find these little tiles like this. Usually for one full diorama, you'll need anywhere from 10 to 16 different tiles. Making your own 1/6 scale dollhouse is super easy. Don't overthink it. Just take it, day by day, piece by piece, and eventually it will all come together. Well, guys, I had so much fun today. I hope that your dollhouses turn out great, and I'm sure they will. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, and if you guys have any questions, just follow me on Instagram. You can leave a comment or send me a DM, and I'll be sure to help. If I feel like more people have more questions or need help, I'll probably do like a second video. Just let me know. All right, see you next time.